What's up, JP? Sounding nice. Hi. This is the Egypt vibes. Right on. It's some of the Doom Salad jams. Kind of ready to move on to another song. I've been on this one for a few days. It's weird. I feel like I've spent like way less time actually mixing it. Like I've done a lot of like sitting here and just doing really minor tweaks. Well, a few days, but only like up and literally just up to an hour on any of those days. Like not even a full hour some days. You know, I've probably put maybe like 3 hours into this so far, which is not really that much for a mix. But I'll probably come back to these two later and try to get them sounding well. What I'll do is I'll give them like an initial mix and kind of send them to my bandmates and see if there's anything specifically they want me to do when I go back. You have to work on it like 5 hours a day. I don't work on almost any specific thing more than like an hour a day. Sometimes I do. And when I was younger, I used to, but like I used to spend like all day on one thing or even like one or two. Like when I was in college, I sat at the piano and I played scales for like, I want to say 6 hours one day. But it's really not an efficient use of your time because you like get bored of what you're doing. And hey, abnormality. And it's like I think I'm a lot better now about like managing my attention. So I have a lot of stuff to work on, but I don't spend like too much time on any one thing in any given day where I start to lose my focus on it. So usually I have about an hour on any given task, and I kind of jump around all day. That keeps me a lot more engaged too, so I can do a lot more. um, but you know, the fewer things you do, the less you're gonna want to do that specifically, I guess. But when I was just practicing piano, I didn't do that so much. Just be a bit hard to not get. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely lose focus and but you know, once you have the discipline and know you'll like actually finish something up. And also, you know, if there's ever like a real time pressure to get something done, I'll just do it. I mean, I've spent like all day preparing for gigs, like days in a row, because I just had to crunch. And so I'd literally just work on a little bit of music that I needed to do for those gigs for like the whole day. So, um, I played this open mic contest sort of thing a couple weeks ago, but other than that, no. I haven't really been trying to book anything. I'm really just trying to get this album done. I've played Poggi live, yeah, in Doom Salad, yeah. Are you talking about Poggi or are you talking about that More to Life song? Poggi was at I've performed both live, yeah, for sure. But yeah, in Doom Salad we did Poggi. And that song More to Life I've performed live. I usually do it with a drum machine now. It's a good layout. Yeah, the form of it's pretty cool. It's like an intro, and then it's like one idea basically over and over again, but every time it reiterates, we do a different thing with it basically. I was pretty proud of the form of that one, yeah. And our guitarist really liked it too. Because I wrote out the chords and stuff for them. Still listen to that. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things I did in Doom Salad for sure. I like that whole album quite a bit. That self-titled album. Especially like the first, I want to say like the first two songs in Poggi, or the first song in Poggi and Blues thing. The last track. Kindergarten or whatever. I think I'm just gonna actually start on something else. I'm gonna start the next one. I know there's stuff I could do to that, but let's see. Have I done? Oh, I worked on this one. Yes. Okay, so what have I not worked on? I haven't worked on this. Oh yeah, looks like I have a little bit. I have a little bit, but not much. There's a good weird how it transformed. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, we definitely like hold on, let me pull out that song. You're talking about this, right? We would like put a lot of like almost random riffs together, and this one was kind of like that. Like we'd almost like put, it's almost like whatever order the riffs were written, we would just put them all together. We did like. Yeah, a lot of times it worked out just fine. Like on my stuff, I try to structure it out a little more. And sometimes with sometimes I try to structure even like the Lane's riffs a little bit. But I remember like our drummer had this idea to like do the speed up thing. I think it was his idea. And we were just like trying to figure out how to do it. And I remember like the drummer really wanted, I think, like a specific number of hits or whatever. I can't remember what we decided on, but I never like, I just followed whatever was going on, honestly. yeah, that speed up thing worked out fine. And then I use this like same keyboard tone for like a lot of our stuff. Our guitar player had a Korg SV1. So it's all off that Korg SV1. That's part of the end, pretty cool. Yeah. Same here. Yeah, this one was, I want to say it was like all lane, pretty much, and like, man had a couple ideas, good transitions and stuff, but kind of just throw parts to whatever they were doing. Try to enhance whatever was going on for the most part. But like Koji, I just straight up wrote Koji. Just kind of at the piano, and I kind of told them what I wanted to do with it. They obviously like came up with their own like drum, like, you know, our drummer came up with the drum part. The guitarist did what he wanted and all that, but I like formed it all out ahead of time. And yeah, it has this interesting part where it like takes the chords and like cycles through them part way, and then like picks up like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like there's like 8 chords, and it just like, it's a really almost like silly, like arbitrary mathematical way of approaching it, but there's just like 8 chords, and it like cycles through like 7 of them or something, I can't remember, and then it like lands on one, and then it cycles through the next 7 and lands on the other one, but it changes up the like the placement of all the chords, so it ends up sounding kind of cool. It's I'll show you what part I'm talking about. It's like in the middle of this, or towards the end. Like after the solos, we go through all these hits, and right here, it's like some number of chords, and it goes through. I think it was 8 of them, and like ba 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 7 da da da, or like it lands on the 9th one or something. Yeah, like it literally just like, it's like almost the same progression as the song. I think I like added a chord or subtracted one. I can't remember specifically. I think I added 1 or 2 chords, and so it's just like this chain of like, I'm trying to remember how the song goes. I think it's like F sharp G, and then like lands on an E or something, and then goes down to D or something like that. And then I want to say there's like 6 chords in the main part, and then I like extended it or something. But yeah, it ends up like emphasizing a different chord in that. Yeah, like plays 8, and then it lands on the 9th one, so it's like a weird, it's like almost like arbitrary, but it sounded. Yeah, there's a good flow to it. Maybe we'll listen to it later, but I should work on this a little bit. Oh, man. This does get a little boring because you end up kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Also, I kind of just know I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it doesn't sound as good as the mixes aren't sounding as good as I'm wanting them to sound. But, whatever. Just gotta keep going. I'm gonna do the snare. I like putting this snap thing on there. All right, have a good one, JP. Thanks for dropping in. What is the point in clipping the mat? There's no point. I just haven't adjusted the levels yet. But since you mentioned it, I'll just go ahead and fix it. Just have everything turned up a little too loud. I mean, I make it a point to, keep everything below below the peak before I like do a render or whatever. But if I can't hear the distortion, it's not really, you know, I don't really think it's that big a deal. If before you render it, you know. But there, hopefully that helps feel a little better. You think metal and dubstep it's okay to clip because you can hear the distortion? Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to clip, although, you know, we do some of our music is kind of heavy, so I think it'd be fine, but yeah, just I literally just booted this up. Like I've barely put any time into this yet. It's just where the levels were at when I opened it. It's like not a it's not like a first thing on my list personally. I'm not saying I know any better than anybody else. Maybe I should turn everything down in the beginning, but sometimes I'll like, you know, try to get all my gains adjusted and try to get some basic effects running and stuff. And then I'll bring everything down. Cuz I'm going to end up putting compressors on stuff anyway, and it's going to get louder anyway like when I start adding things, so I just make sure to do that before I render. And you know, I try to keep it, if I start to notice anything like it starts to affect the sound, I'll definitely turn everything down then. But if I can't hear it on my monitors, I'm not gonna lose my mind just because it turns red for a second. That's all. How much of the snares in that? In those overheads? Let's see what. So I have this, and what other songs are left? I worked on that a little bit. Can't remember if I worked on this. Looks like no. That I've done nothing to. This one I worked on, I saw that earlier. This one I've done nothing on. Okay, that one I'm definitely gonna do something with. This one I worked on, this one I worked on, this one. Excuse me. The 5 that I've spent time on. This one I'm like not like crazy about, honestly. I feel like kind of bored working on it. And then this one I didn't even figure out what to do with it. It's got 17 minutes in it. Oh, I highlighted this. Is this what I was gonna use? And that's not another one, right? It's not the same as... It's definitely not the same as that. So this one I like. So maybe I'll work on these first. Let's just get rid of all this. Was I gonna do this? That doesn't make sense. Cut. something in here, but I'm not sure what exactly. Or if that should be 2 instead of 1. I thought I like organized all these already, but I have that just big file just filled with stuff. I might add some bass to this one. Let's see, how long has it been? It hasn't been very long, but I'm kind of like, I don't know if burn out is the right word because I actually haven't spent that much time on these, but just in the context of everything else I'm doing, I kind of like not having a hard time focusing on this. So I think go ahead and start reading some RTT and maybe step away from the mixes just a little bit, at least for tonight. And all right, so I guess one thing I could do that would be good would be to go in this one thing and try to figure out what I'm doing in here. Am I gonna do 1 or 2, or how many pieces of this am I gonna use? Because I organized everything else. I thought this was organized, but this is a 17-minute, 20 minutes just sitting here. I'm definitely not going to use 20 minutes, so. It's another part. It's weird. That was another part. Oh, which one was that? Pretty sure we already did that. This one? No, it's not that. This one? I don't think it was. Could have been. No, it's not that one. Wasn't this one. This one was like really slow. So is that just something I haven't started on and just thought I did? Definitely not this one. Right. I think it's something I haven't worked on. I kind of think in this file I might have like, I didn't like save something in the wrong folder, did I? I think so. So I think this is, I definitely like this one. I swear I worked on this. Where is it? I could have swore I like put this in a separate file and spent time mixing it already. Could have put it like in the wrong folder or something. I definitely do that sometimes. It's not that. I know what that one is. Dang, I thought I like. There's this, which is the same name as another one. But I don't think this is it. No, it's not it. Dude, I swear I like put this. I have two of these salad folders. No, it's not that. Could I have like deleted it on accident or something? I'm so confused right now. There's nothing deleted in here. Man, it's weird. I swear I worked on this. Like, I feel like I've listened to this like a billion times. Dude, this is bugging me. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. This seems. I feel like I did, but maybe I didn't. Dig it. Nice. I'm so confused. I swear I like mixed this down already. Like I cut off the end somewhere and I like already did this, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I just listened to this really long ass thing one time and like I think I spent a lot of time on it because it's really, really long. It falls off beat, yeah. That's definitely a cool idea. I want to use it, I just don't want to remix it if I already mixed it. But I can't find it, so I guess I didn't. I just think I did for some reason. I need to figure out how it's going to end, because it's not going to go for 20 minutes. The mix sounds fine. I mean, it's not even mixed. It's just the raw recordings. I didn't even do anything with the levels yet. I mean, that's good. It's good that it sounds good. But definitely gonna spend some time on it. So some resonant frequencies at 130. Oh, right on. I don't know how to end it. It goes off. It goes forever. There's gotta be like a, I think like around here. Like maybe just there, just end it. Because it's just been doing this for like 2 minutes straight. Let's see, is that enough time? Just say I'd do that. Is that good? Sounds like geese. Like in a good way. Now my friend, like, we were at this jam. They had like a ton of horn players. He's talking about like when like all the horns come in at the same time, like the saxophone and whatever else. He's like, it's kind of like a squawk, like it's geese honking at you. Like I went there after he made that comment. And I had to like keep myself from laughing because like all I could hear was geese. Like they were playing like this beautiful, like profound, in the moment improv, but it's like it's just like sounds like geese. Like, what the? It's so funny. They had the confidence of a goose, you know. I was almost attacked by a goose. I would go as far as to say that I was attacked by a goose. They just didn't land it, you know. Like, I was at this lake, and there's all these geese by this lake. I guess they live there or whatever, but people like to give them bread and all that. And I think it was like a mama goose. She had some babies, and I was just like walking up to like check out the geese, cause you know they're majestic creatures and all that. And I walk up towards the geese, and the mom like just starts honking at me. She like rears her head and like does her big wings, and like she flies up and like lunges at me. And I just fell like on my ass, and I was like really scared of the goose. And you know, I was already an adult, so you know. But yeah, this goose scared the lights out of me. And I fell on my butt, and I like started crawling back, and the goose like, you know, was kind of slow. But yeah, she meant business. I think if I didn't back up, I would have gotten a bit. Hey Whistler, thanks, appreciate the sub. Yeah, she's. I would think geese are like, you know, like nice. If I wasn't attacked by that goose, I would think you could like pet a goose, you know. But no more. Yeah, they're awful. Yeah. Scared of peace now. Yeah, this jam, it doesn't. I don't know where it's supposed to end. Because I mean, it's cool, but it just keeps going and going and going. It's kind of marked off here. I do like this part too. Gonna end it there. It just goes on forever. It looks like maybe I marked it off before to end here. That sounds like more like a intentional ending. Tune is mental. That one feels more intentional. Alright, I think I already determined that at some point. I just forgot about it because it's already split. It's already split there. So why did I keep these other parts? Did I want to use these two? I don't want to do another. I'm trying to figure out if I need to turn one of these into something else too. This part's kind of cool. Okay, I think that's nothing. Maybe I'll put this on a separate file. It's 3 minutes. Okay, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I need to just like copy all these and just paste them here, I guess. And then just get rid of these. So just call this little groove and big groove. Oops, well, let's get rid of these. That work? What's going on here? Alright, I think I'll do that. So that'll leave us with... I might just get rid of this one. That'll leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's decent. That's a pretty good number. Considering we jammed for like 3 hours, it's quite good. Alright, I think we're gonna quit. What the heck are you talking about? I closed it. I'm gonna start reading a little bit. I know nobody's watching anyway. Well, something for the newcomers to look forward to. One person might be watching on Twitch, but I can't tell if that's me or not. Anyway, so where was I at with this? Talk about optimization. Optimization was basically talking about like what you lose in terms of accuracy with respect to your primes and whatever. And you can assign preference to certain primes, and you can do different types of optimizations. So there's like minimum minimax, which is like the minimum max damage. So like the highest damage is lower. And there's like a root mean square max damage. I think that's basically just like a sum of squares. I mean, it's a root mean square, which I think is square root of the sum of the squares, or the square root of the average of the sum of the squares, or whatever, something like that. Can't remember exactly. And then there's another one. I can't remember what it is. Oh, there's target intervals, which is those ones you want to remain pure. So usually that's the octave, but it could be anything you want. So they talk about weight as being like which intervals you want to apply the least damage to. So Oh, there's minimized average, mini average. So that's just literally the least amount of damage overall. But you could like have a really bad like prime 5 and then a quite good prime 2 and 3, and that would have a higher average. Like a lower average damage, but you might really want that prime 5. So you wouldn't want the mini average in that case. I think it said later on too that the mini max is like the most common choice. And this is saying that the least overall damage is the sum of squares, sum of the average of the squares or whatever, the root mean square. But they often result in a different tuning. So how do you know which one is right? So minimax is weakest link. Your tuning's only as strong as its weakest link, more or less, and then mini average is, you know, it's a little less selective. It's just, I don't know, I could see why people would, I mean, if you're gonna do this, like, you probably have intervals in mind. It's probably more often how it's just how it's done. So I could see why like minimax is definitely like more preferred or whatever. All but one of the tuning schemes described on Zen Harmonic Wiki is a minimax tuning. It says here there may be like a technical limitation that causes that to be preferred, but it's not necessarily better. But we're not going to learn about that until later. Alright, so we face an infinite continuum of possible tunings to check. That range of tuning is called our tuning space. If it's one generator, then that's a one-dimensional space. If the temperament is two generators of tuning, there's an entire plane. Infinity squared. So there's an infinite number of possibilities for both generators. Wow. For rank 3 temperaments, the space becomes 3D. Excuse me. So, yeah, more dimensions makes it really tricky. Tuning damage space. Each one of these 3 interpretations of least overall damage involves minimizing a different damage statistic. Mini average. 6 at the minimum value of the average of the damages. Mini-max seeks out the minimum value of the max of the damages. Mini-RMS seeks out the minimum value of the RMS of the damages. When we seek a mini-average tuning, we essentially visit every point. Compute the average damage. Then we choose which of those tunings give the minimum such average. Same goes true for the other two types. We can imagine taking our tuning space and adding one extra dimension on which to graph the damage each tuning causes, whether to a specific target interval or a broader statistic like the average, max, or RMS. This type of space we call tuning damage space. The tuning damage space for rank 1 temperament is 2D, so you add a dimension. And then for a rank 2 temperament, it's 3D. And the damage space is different than the tuning damage space. For damage space, every dimension is a damage dimension, and no dimensions are tuning dimensions. Their tunings are merely labels on points in space. So tuning damage space is more closely related to tuning space than it is to damage space, since it's tuning space, but one extra dimension is added for the tuning's damages. That is a little confusing. Hey, what's up, Evan Wally? How you doing? Back on the RTT Article 3. So far, it hasn't been too hard to follow, but this part I just read is a little confusing. It's saying there's a difference between tuning damage space and damage space. I don't know that they mentioned a raw damage space until just now. It's not going to worry about it for the time being. So it is instructive to visualize the relationship between individual target interval damages and these damage statistics that we're seeking to minimize. Tuning damage graph. Holy moly, what am I looking at? You have the max damage. The root mean square damage. Various mini p mean tunings of the tilt. Hex a tilt. For that. So here's your generators sizes. It's not a huge range. There's a lot of less than a cent being represented here. But yeah, between 97.7 or whatever that is and 101.8, it's like a lot going on. Damage in unity weight cents. I don't know what that means yet. Damage to 5.4 is in blue. To 5.3 is whatever that color is. You want to damage your monitor? Purple is damage to 5.2. So these are all 5 limit intervals. Here's 3 limit. Well, including, I guess, that one too. There's another 5 limit. So I guess these aren't organized They kind of are, but the colors seem like random or something. Why is this way over here and this is way over here? I don't get it. The graph visualizes a simple introductory example of a rank 1 temperament, which only has a single generator. So as we discussed, because we only have one generator, the tuning damage space can be visualized in 2D. The horizontal axis corresponds with the continuum of size for the generator. The vertical axis shows how much damage is dealt to each interval given that generator tuning. The overall impression is that there's a generator tuning somewhere in the middle, which is best. The ones on the left and right edges are of no interest because the further you go, the more damage gets piled on. Unless you like really want this one. Oh, there's kind of like a line, it looks like, going off to where this one starts. So these are like corresponding with the perfect version of these intervals. So this is where 5.2 is perfect. Here's the minimax version. Your generator is 100 cents. Your root mean square generator is 99 point. That, and it's right there. The mini average generator has the same exact generator. So the average damage doesn't correspond with the max damage, but they're the same generator. So I guess horizontally they're aligned, or vertically they're aligned. They kind of look like they're not, though. That's weird. They look like they're slanted, but maybe not. As you can see, they put it within a 10,000th of a, or I mean a 1,000th of a cent, so it must be the same. So each target interval makes a V. Should come as no surprise. For each target interval, we can find a generator that divides the target interval size exactly. So you get it pure. To the right, the generator is too wide. To the left, it's too narrow. Chosen to target 8 intervals damages to optimize for octave, tritave, 3/2, 4/3, 5/2, 5/3, 5/4, 6/5. It's called 6 tilt, which is short for truncated 6 integer limit triangle. And they will be explained later. Each of these 8 intervals makes its own V-shaped graph. They don't line up exactly, because the intervals are not tuned pure at the same tuning. So when we put them all together, you get a unique landscape. Note that part of what makes this landscape unique is that the steepness differs from one V to the next. This is because of how many generators it takes to approximate each target interval. If a target interval is approximated by 2 steps of the generator and another is approximated by 6, the latter target will be affected by the damage 3 times as much. So its damage graph will be 3 times as steep. Well, that makes sense. And then if we were using simplicity or complexity weight damage, the complexity of the interval would affect the slope 2. Note that the mini-max, mini-average, and mini-RMS damages are each represented by a single point on the graph. It's the minimum value of each statistic. The max damage sits on the top. The average damage, what are they talking about? Whoa, look at that, that's cool. The average damage has a sharp corner where the target interval damage graphs bounce off the bottom. Okay. The RMS damage is special because it consists of a single long smooth curve with no straight segments or corners. If you're familiar with the hyperbolic shape of the graph y equals x squared, I recognize RMS as a sum of 8 different offset copies of this graph divided by a constant and squared root. Oh, divided by a constant and square rooted. Also see that the RMS graph is found vertically in between the average and max graphs. Okay. Sort of interesting. Not really sure where they're going with this. Everything up to this point was pretty straightforward, but now it's getting a little just, I don't know if I'm quite confused or just like, what are you getting at? I guess I'm confused. Before we move on, we should also at least glance at what tuning graphs look like for rank 2 temperaments. If you have one dimension for each of 2 generators, then you need a third dimension to graph damaged into. So the tuning graph is 3D. Even with a small count of 8 target intervals, the graph appears as a tangled mess of bent-up-looking intersecting planes and curves. So here are all the individual graphs. Here's one generator, here's generator 2. And the damage is on the, I guess, vertical axis. Or like the z-axis. This looks like origami. Now we can see the shape of each of the target intervals graphs. sort of a V, but three-dimensional. The shape of a target interval's tuning damage graph is a hyper-V. What about the max, average, and RMS graphs? In 2D, they look like V's 2 with rounded off or crinkled up tips. Hypercone. Okay, interesting. If 3D graphs aren't your thing, there's another helpful way to visualize tuning damage for rank 2 temperaments with a topographic graph. These are basically top-down views of the same information, with lines tracing along places where damage is the same. Ever seen a geographic map which showed elevation information with contours? You'll understand. Okay. I do not understand. I have no idea what I'm looking at. This just looks insane. Oh. No. Alright. Power means. Each of these damage statistics we've been looking at, the average, the max, and the RMS, can be understood as a power mean or P mean. All of these power means can be defined with a single unifying formula, which situates them along a continuum of possibilities. We raise each item to the pth power and sum up the items, then divide by k, which is the number of items. Finish up the p mean by taking the matching root at the end. That is the root matching the power that each item was individually raised to in the first step. So that's the pth root. The items are squared in the beginning. In the end, we take the square root. So damage P equals sum of these. D to the P. What the heck's the D? That's the damage of every item. Over K. So that just gives you the average, I guess. And then this root means square. Why does this info seem useless? Great question. This feels very useless. I don't know what you would do with this. I'm just going to keep on trudging through it, though. Maybe it'll make sense eventually. So you end up with like a sum of squares formula. The root means sum of squares, whatever the heck that is. And then but it's to the p's, the sum of d to the p's. For some target interval damage, list D, which has a total of k items, one for each target interval. Raise each item to the pth power, then sum them up. Then divide by k and take the pth root. The double angle bracket notation for the p mean is not conventional. Some they came up with here is a variation of the double vertical bar brackets used to represent the power norm. And they don't use it because it looks too much like mapping matrix M. Okay. what power makes the formula work for each one of them. So the power for the average, you don't, it's just 1. So you just ignore that part. So you just sum the items and get the square root. And then for the RMS, you bring them to the power of 2, which makes sense because root means square is sum of squares. And then for the max, P you go to the infinity. I would have never guessed that. What the heck are they talking about? They're like, can you guess what the value of P is? It's infinity. What? Okay. This guy's making you hate RTT. I didn't need this guide to hate RTT. I came in with a heart full of hatred. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know what the point of this is yet, but I I felt that way through a lot of the first article, and then by the time I finished the article, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool actually. So maybe that'll happen with this one too. I don't know. I'm just gonna hang out with it, and the other thing is like there were so many times reading the other article where I was like, oh, this is so confusing. Why are they even saying this? And then like as I kept reading, it started to make sense. And I was even able to like use some of the logic to on my own a little bit. So I felt like I got something out of it anyway. So maybe that'll happen here too. Like this doesn't make any sense to me right now, but maybe by the end of the article it will make some kind of sense. So when we take the infinitieth power of each damage and divide by the number of items and then take the infinitieth root, the mathematical result is we get whichever damage had been the maximum. When damages are propelled into infinity, whichever one had been the biggest to begin with. Yes, that's true. Yeah. I remember that from, I guess, analysis or calculus or whatever. Whatever the biggest exponent is, just overrides all the other exponents. So like if you have a graph where if you add powers, if the whatever the biggest power is, that's where like the limit converges. It's always on the largest exponent. So I do kind of remember that from high school. So anyway, this is kind of the same idea. So anyway, so when we do that, all that remains is the maximum. So you don't even have to like figure out what the maximum is. It'll just tell you if you do this operation. So the average reader will probably feel surprised to learn that the max is a type of mean, since typically these statistics are taught as mutually exclusive fundamentals with very different goals. Okay, whatever. All right. Point to Paul's max damage in a middle path paper or Graham's adjusted error or TE error in its temperament finder's results. Category of procedures that return the minimization of a given p-mean may be called minimized power means. All right, you know what? I think that's enough of this. for tonight. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some ear training. That's kind of a lot to chew on, so I'll let that one stew overnight and some ear training, and then oops. If I have time after that, I'll do some mess around with some music with the instrument a little bit. I'm gonna start off with 20 regular intervals. For a while I was doing really well, just like getting hundreds and some occasional 90s. But lately I've been doing pretty badly. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know how I get that wrong. It's like my brain doesn't want me to know this. Sounds like a minor 6. I guess that's not terrible. I knew that one was it. It's 150 or 50 or 100. It's 150. Is that 650 or 750? 88. I think my high score is 60 something. $63. To get in top 50, I gotta get a 41. I'm not far off at all. I'll do it one more time. I'll try to get a high score. No, that was worse. That was even worse. I'm gonna give it one more attempt. $82. Dang. How can I get a high score? One more. 63. Isn't that the score I already had? I'm not doing that. Well, at least I think I tied my high score. I guess technically I beat it since it would have been the new 63. I'm not posting that though. It's not significant. Alright. I don't care anymore. I did too many quarter tones. And then burn out. Alright, let's see. What's up, Air Max? How you doing? My mouse just froze. I think it might have finally died. It's going good, I guess. I feel like I'm learning something, but I think my mouse finally died. I need to grab a battery. I can't really put the BRB stuff up or do anything else, so I'm just gonna be right back. You're not sleeping. Should abnormality be sleeping? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm learning Air Max, but you know, when you see the scores start to decrease sometimes, it's very annoying. I guess since you're here and asking about it, I'll do a couple more. Don't tell your parents. Okay. Try not to bring it up. What? Also, I get progressively more annoyed by like smaller mistakes the more I do it. Like when I was first doing the 19 ear trainer, it was like, oh, I didn't get the super major sixth. Okay, well, whatever. But now I've been doing it for a while and I'm like, how did I not know that was the super major? Why did I think that was the major major? I get angry. And like the super major versus the major seven, same thing. I'm like, why can't I tell the difference? Just get, I just get angry. I get a lot angrier now with the experience. So I'm not sure if I've learned anything. I just expect that I should have. And when all the evidence points to the contrary, I'm upset. That's an octave, in case you didn't know. Really? Oh, that makes sense actually. It's one of these. This... Oh, come on. I knew that. What the heck? Uh, oh. Yeah, I get so annoyed when I'm wrong. I'm constantly wrong, so I'm constantly annoyed. Let's see. What is my score? 63. I'm not posting this. It's close though. I'll try one more. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. What's my high score on this one? 37. I was way off. Never mind. There's a scammer. Oh yeah, you can right click and remove intervals. I always forget that. I haven't tried that yet. I guess eventually I should, but for now I'm just gonna keep roughing it. I don't want to do this one more time. 32. But my high score was 31, right? Or was it 27? $37? Oh, that's a new high score. All right, let's do it. Look at that. Cool, I made a high score. That's good. That's all I truly crave. 37. Groundfall reference. Nice. 37 is actually really cool. Romeo's was turning me onto that like way back, and I didn't have a good like layout for it. After I like get more into this 22 Ito layout, I think I'll try going back to some of those tunings that were really intriguing but seemed like hard to use, and try to find some better layouts for them. But I really want to kind of get used to that 1 and 22 first. Anyway. It's tied between 27 and 37. You know, I love like Brendan Burns music, and I know he's got a lot of stuff in 27. But like, it's so funny. I've had like no viewers tonight, but I've had like a lot of likes. Someone even said they subbed earlier, which is nice, but no one's really been watching tonight too much. Yeah, like every time I try to use 27, I just like can't get into it. And it was kind of sold to me as like 22 with neutrals. I was like, oh, that sounds sick. But like, I just start messing with it, and I'm like, nothing's clicking. Never feels right. I'll go back to it eventually. I think like all the Itos I have a hard time with, I at some point want to try to like come up with something cool with them. Scatterbrain hit 1,000 views. Oh, that's cool. Is that yours? Nice. Well, congratulations. I think I've my whole life had one video get 1,000 views. And it took a long time.
It's time for something new, with each new addition to your family and your extended family.
The 11 is sick. That sounds awesome. You get a ton of comments on there too. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Watch my own live stream. Okay. Like this episode? Sure. Wow. Got nothing better to do. That gave me a viewer. Oh no, it didn't. Never mind. Unless you laughed. In which case, yeah, it did. Just me watching myself. Provide commentary on what's going on. Well, someone in chat told me to watch my own video. Namely abnormality, so now I get to listen to my own awkward voice and feel like extra awkward about it. I can also scrutinize my appearance. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't really know what to say. Yeah. Hmm. That's interesting. Look at how many of me there are. The infinite mirror. The magic 16. Hold on, I gotta do this. It's cool. Nice. Alright. That's great. I think I'm gonna get going. It's about that time. Earlier JP was talking about Koji. Song I wrote for Doom Salad. It's not microtonal, but I kind of want to listen to it because I haven't listened to it in a while. We were talking about it. I was listening to a part of it, so I'll let this play while I'm breaking down. But thanks for hanging out, Abnormality, and whoever else made it this far. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Gonna do more Doom Salad mixes. Either gonna read some RTT or do some more linnstrument or a little of both. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I'm gonna break dance. I think I've embarrassed myself enough for one evening, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But maybe next time. How do you break dance? I could try it. What do you do? Like what? What do you even do? Let me look up a break dance. No, I'm not gonna do that. It's enough. That's have some compassion, please. All right. Anyway. You dance, you break something, right? All right, y'all. Have a good day, night, whatever. See you next time.